Not that I want to be pregnant, but like, where's my period? To me, I don't believe it's a joke because it's such a sacred thing. You're a portal and it's not funny. And better believe my son drinks sea moss too every single day. My coochie has been singing to me, but that's a different story. Okay, if you can tell I'm wearing a sports bra, ignore that. Greetings, beautiful earth angels. Welcome back to another video. It's your girl Nagad, and today we're gonna have a hashtag ask Nagad segment, and it looks like a lot of the questions are labor and birth centered. Labor and birth centered, so that's pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to talking about labor and birth, because labor and delivery, because those two were a great. Pregnancy, not so much. I didn't have fun with that, but labor and delivery was just everything I wanted it to be and more. Oh my god, somebody's parking next to me. If this is the first time you see my face, you know the drill. You probably heard this. You probably heard every single YouTuber you watch today say this. Subscribe to my channel. It really does mean a lot. Like, it actually does mean a lot, and that's why everybody asks you to do it. And also like this video if you want to. Let's just get into this video, right, Nagad? Yeah, that's the next step. Ever since I had a baby, like my wallpapers are just him. I can't help it. It just makes me so happy. Like, could you see this one? So I went on Instagram and I asked you guys to ask me questions about anything, and I have some questions, so we're going to go through them together. The first one is advice for wild birth and pregnancy for first-time mom. Being a first-time pregnant mom is just the most nerve-wracking thing, because everybody is excited for you, like extremely excited for you, and you've never had a child, so you don't really know why everyone's excited. So you're just like, I understand having a child is exciting, but we don't even know how this season ends, so let me give birth first, ladies and gentlemen. Part of me feels extremely lucky, only because I've only had one birth and it went exactly how I wanted, so I feel really lucky about it. But at the same time, I can't help but believe like I had a strong say in how it went. You know what I mean? Like how it turned out, I should say. Like I planted the seeds and it turned out the way I wanted it to turn out. But then by saying that, I'm implying that women who don't get the birth they wanted, it was their fault. And I don't mean that at all. I just don't know. It's so tough to talk about birth, about breastfeeding, about pregnancy, about raising your children, about diets, about anything without feeling like you're offending other people. And I don't want to ever come off that way, but I'm just speaking from my experience. Like, I don't know what happened other places, but for me, I do feel like I had a strong say in how it turned out. You know what I mean? Above all of that, you got to make sure your mental is okay. And if your mental is not okay, or you're around people who can possibly put any kind of doubt in your mind, like, I convinced myself that if I was upset, angry, depressed, or depressive, or just sad, I guess. Depressed is exaggeration of the words. I'm using it as an exaggeration. I shouldn't use that. But if you were sad or frustrated or stressed or whatever, for me, I told myself that like if I experienced any of those emotions during my pregnancy, I am like, I cannot do it. And thankfully, my pregnancy, I don't think I got mad. I don't think I got mad at all at people in my life. Like, outdoor people, yeah, like the bylaw officer who was harassing us and trying to make us homeless. But other than that, like, I don't think I got mad. I tried my best to, like, even like Starbucks orders, like I would try my best, because I'm a Capricorn. If I order A, I want A. I don't want A with a side of B, or I don't want B that looks like A. I want A. So there's a lot of times where Starbucks, they just don't do that, because the employees are not there for a long time. They're there for a short time. You know what I mean? They're here for a fun time, not a long time. And they're not the best at making drinks. Anyways, that's a whole different tangent, nigga. Let's bring it right back. I would just convince myself not to be upset all the time, and it worked out really well for me. I know near the end of my pregnancy, when I literally, guys, when I tell you, for the first like 27 weeks, I did not feel stress. I would feel like outdoor forces trying to put stress on me, but myself, I didn't feel stress. Like, I would never let it stress me, or I would never let anything stress me. And thankfully, I'm in a very like healthy relationship, and I do have a healthy relationship with like the people in my life, my family. So I don't have to like, I didn't have to be upset at all during my pregnancy. But anyways, that's a whole, I'm literally going off about this, but what I'm trying to say is that you have to make sure your mental is okay by any means necessary, even if that means like just not telling people the full truth. When it comes to wild birth or free birth, keep in mind that my entire pregnancy, I free birthed at the end. I didn't have a wild pregnancy, but I free birthed at the end, meaning there was nobody, no professionals present for the birth. I had a midwife following me throughout the whole pregnancy. But keep in mind, I think about this all the time. If I didn't have a midwife follow me throughout my whole pregnancy, I would have still been where I am today. Like, she did not make a difference in my pregnancy whatsoever. If anything, she was the stress that I had to deal with. You know what I mean? So be confident. Be confident and do your research for a free birth and a first time pregnancy. And honestly, message me if you have any questions, because I'm always on my, well, I'm not always on Instagram. I don't get notifications from Instagram, but I'm on my phone and I'll try my best to answer. You give tips on how to improve breast milk supply. Are you an oversupplier? I'm actually not an oversupplier. I supply just enough. Let me give you guys a little bit of backstory. I weigh 10 pounds less than I weighed when I got pregnant. I weighed the lowest weight I weighed since moving out. My weight just dropped. I got pregnant and went right back up, and I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna see that number again. And I just started plummeting. So now I'm 10 pounds lighter than I was when I was initially pregnant. So with that being said, I don't think I know milk supply for me personally, it's very tightly linked with my daily diet. If one day I just don't feel like drinking water, or I just feel like not taking care of myself for some unknown reason, and it happens sometimes, I'm sure it happens to everyone, I feel it in my supply. So I just don't like to be hungry anymore. I love having anything with sea moss. I make my own coffee drink at home. I actually have a video about it, a tutorial about it on my Instagram and my TikTok. Check it out. So sea moss is the key to producing milk for me. You just need to make sure that you're purchasing the correct sea moss. I actually am in the works of selling sea moss only to my subscribers and stuff. I'm gonna put it on my Etsy for people like you who are watching this video and want to make sure you're getting it from a good source, because Bae and I, we order it in bulk from St. Lucia. So and it's I don't know, I trust where we get our sea moss from. And I don't know, I wouldn't want to tell you guys to buy sea moss and then you guys buy sea moss that's not good. You know what I mean? And then it's you're not getting what I told you you're gonna get out of it. Because when sea moss is good, that shit hits different. You could make the world's most disgusting smoothie, but if there's sea moss in it, your body craves the nutrients that are in that sea moss so desperately. You know what changed in my life? Let me tell you what changed in my life. My milk supply, first of all, my son has to gasp between drinking milk sometimes because of how it just flows and flows and flows and flows. It's just the most, I don't even know where my body brings it out of. Secondly, my coochie health. My coochie has been singing to me, but that's a different story. Thirdly, my skin, literally my skin, my mental health. My mental health is on a whole different level when I have sea moss. And then I get so full. You know why? Because I can't stop drinking what I put the sea moss in, if that makes sense. If I put it in a shake, I can't stop drinking sea moss. And better believe my son drinks sea moss too, every single day. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. Drink a lot of sea moss. You need sea moss. Next question, natural organic postpartum hair loss tips if you've experienced it. I've experienced postpartum hair loss. I have a lot of people who comment on my hair loss. Postpartum hair loss is a thing, it happens, but I honestly don't care about it. I'm not really that concerned. I think my hair was at a length, it's still at the certain length. I mean, I cut a lot at the bottom, but it's still kind of doing fine, you know what I mean? A lot of the hairstyles that I do for my hair, the fact that I'm losing hair, it doesn't really bother it, unless I look hella bald right now. Which I probably do, but it's it kind of looks wet, you know? So I'm not that concerned. But my biggest tip is sea moss. I just want advice during my labor and delivery. Second baby, first was natural, unmedicated, just anxious. I just want advice during labor and delivery. Girl. First of all, how I wish to be in your position. Just know that's the first thing. You are blessed, that you even got pregnant again. Girl, I'm waiting on my period. Not that I want to be pregnant, but where's my period? My most fondest memories of myself were me when I was giving birth. I was the best version of me. And again, if you want to experience every single second, if you can, if you even have that desire to, because I know some girls, I've worked with girls and I've met girls that are no, epidural me up, I don't want to feel nothing, or I don't know, they make jokes about it. And to me, I don't believe it's a joke because it's such a sacred thing. You're a portal and it's not funny. My biggest advice is to just own it. Own it. There were so many times when I was giving birth that I could have easily it's not even easily, it's so difficult not to panic. It's so difficult not to panic. It's the easiest thing to do. Panic. Oh my god, I'm going back into it. Like my face, I'm just going back into it. But the easiest thing to do when you're giving birth is panic. It's just right there. Like it's constantly like, that button is so easy to click, and sometimes I would just like, it's like I'm driving on a highway and it's like falling asleep and swerving into a ditch is so easy for you. That's what panicking is like when you're giving birth. Like you can easily panic, and it starts with your breathing and then your brain, and you're like, I can't, and then over and over, and then you feel like the intensity of labor and the contractions just become so much more intense until you like, there was moments where I'm like, nigga, I need to silence my mind or else it's gonna hurt again. Like if I'm not, when I'm calm and I remind myself to breathe through it, and I'm like riding each wave as it comes, like when a contraction starts, it's gonna end when you can't handle it. Like it's not gonna keep going past it's not gonna keep going to where you physically can't handle it anymore. Don't fight it. Allow it to come. Accept it. Each contraction that comes in, accept it as soon as it starts. Every contraction has a purpose, has a goal, and you need to go through a certain amount for a certain length of time for you to meet your child. The more tense you are, the more resistant you are, the more you panic, the further you are away from that goal. Each contraction is to set up the stage for that head to come out and the shoulders to follow and the feet to be the last things that touch the inside of your freaking body. And fighting it doesn't help. Fighting it is the easiest thing. And by fighting it, I mean panicking. So just try your best not to panic. And I don't even have to tell you, girl. I honestly don't even have to tell you. The fact that you experienced it once, the fact that you had to experience it once is enough. Like, you know exactly what to expect. You know what's going on, and it may not be you specifically that knows. There's a higher power here, and there's some like, you have this intelligence within you. You've done this multiple times. Once is not the only, like, you've done this a million times. I knew going into it, I've done it a million times, and he's my first child in this life. Just go with the flow, let each thing happen, and I'm gonna end it with this. My biggest word of advice is to force yourself to breathe. Force yourself to breathe. Inhale, exhale, even if the inhale is shaky, because sometimes those contractions just get you, bro. They just get you in the knees. Does your baby have any immunizations? If not, how are you going about school when he's sick or big family events? I'm not gonna disclose my son's immunization status, but assume what you want to assume. But whatever you're assuming is most likely the answer. There's nothing in this question that I necessarily feel comfortable answering, but I am gonna talk about school. I think it's safe to say it now. I think it's safe to say it because I really mean it. And honestly, if I change, I change, and I'm going to be advocating whatever I believe is right in the moment. But as of right now, and as of since I got pregnant, actually since I met my husband, even before I met my husband, but since I met my husband and we talked about starting a family and all that, homeschooling has been the conversation, the answer. We've already decided that traditional schooling is not for us. It's not for my children. We prefer to go the homeschooling route and begin school the first day of their lives instead of having to feel like, okay, so if we were choosing, because obviously it's a choice to homeschool. The fact that homeschooling is legal is it shows you that it's a choice. Since we have the choice between both, we chose what aligned best with our beliefs. And yeah, so school is never going to be an issue for me. I don't want to talk about high school yet because my son is not even close to high school, and I probably won't even have a YouTube channel when he's in high school. Who knows like where the world's going to be in 5 years, let alone 15. Yeah. When it comes to elementary school, I guess it's just a Capricorn in me. I personally would prefer to teach my children at home, and I'm willing to take on whatever like obstacles come with it. A lot of people homeschool. A lot of people from my community and my city have homeschooled their children. It's not something weird or off or whatever. So when it comes to immunizations, I will never allow an institution's rule or law to dictate my choices as a parent. You see what I mean? Like, whether or not I choose to immunize or whatever the freaking term is, my child, it won't be because I want him to go to school, so he has to be you know what I mean? Like, if I choose not to, then I'm going to take whatever necessary steps I have to take. What is that thing called? Like, what is it called, exemption. If I have to get an exemption, a religious exemption, or whatever the case may be, I would get it. But again, I've said a lot. I've said enough. And the family events, I don't know what you mean by family events, but I don't go to family events. Like, you mean going to my mom's house or my sister-in-law's house? You know, like, everybody asks me about my relationship with my mom. Literally, like, it's like part of me is always like, why don't I just delete all these videos that I have up? Because it's so long ago that it's not even, I should just stop answering those questions. I've been cool with my family for long before I got pregnant, so these are events we're talking about that happened 4 years ago. A whole, like, we got a bachelor degree from that. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you got I love talking about motherhood, and I haven't even spoken about motherhood yet, but I love talking about birth and labor. Like, that was honestly, guys, my best experience. Like, I can't believe I did that. I did that, and if you're a mom, you did that, and if you're a woman who wants to do that, you can do that. Like, we can do that. I could not believe it. I'll never forget how it felt to stand up and feel my son's head between my thighs. Like, it felt like somebody else's body. Like, not his head. Obviously his head's someone else's body, but I felt like my body was somebody else's body. Like, it was the most surreal experience. And then being able to do it just me and my husband and not having any complications. Like, I'm so beyond blessed. I'm so beyond blessed. Like, I'm so beyond blessed. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm just girl, if you're pregnant right now, I truly hope your labor goes smoother than mine went. I truly hope that for you. But I'm gonna end this video here because I want my Starbucks. I need to buy Starbucks. I love you guys so much. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I love having conversations with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to having more conversations with you guys. Every time I post, I get so excited to read your comments. I read every single comment. I respond minutes after you comment. Like, I'm ready, because I'm ready for the conversation. So yeah, that's it. I think I have nothing else to say. I'll see you guys in my next video. Same place, same time. Okay, good.